27 days. That's all I have left, you guys. It's less than 30 days. May 10th is my deadline for the 90-day transformation challenge. 6-pack abs, visible abs. And guys, this past week, my weight went up. My energy dropped, and transparently, I thought about quitting, seriously. But I didn't. And that is exactly what I want to talk to you about today. Hey, welcome back to the Transformation Recap. My name is May. Every week I sit down and give you the real, unfiltered version of where I'm at in my heart, health, and hustle journey. This is not a highlight reel, guys. This is just the cold, hard truth. Today is April 13th, 2026, and I'm in the final stretch of my 90-day transformation challenge. And I'm not gonna lie, this week tested me in ways I was not expecting. So let's get into it. So guys, I don't know if you know this, but I am a big student of personal development. There is a seminar called PSI Seminars, stands for Personal Success Institute. I've talked about it in the past on my channel. I did my basic seminar back in 2021. And since graduating from the work, I've gone back to staff and volunteer many times. But it's been about 2 years that I took a hiatus since I moved to Phoenix. And so this past weekend, I actually put in 40 hours of volunteer time and got to spend some time with new students. And you know what's interesting about doing something over and over again, possibly for the second, third time, or in my case, closer to 10 times, it's not what you learn, right? Or rather, it's not that you learn something new, but it's about who you become, right? That you become someone new. And so the same lesson can hit you differently than it did in the past. Write that one down. Growth isn't about just consuming more information. Sometimes it's about becoming the version of yourself who can finally receive what was always there right under your nose. Have you ever gone back to something, maybe a book, a conversation, a movie even, or what about a memory, and thought, how did I miss that the first time? Let me know in the comments. And real quick, guys, as you know, both Felipe and I are in this calorie deficit. It's been testing our patience with each other this week. I mean, even just people, my patience has been super low. And that's just due to the fact of being in a prolonged calorie deficit. So let's just say we're both walking on eggshells. Eggs, that's how hungry I am, guys. But hey, all things considered, thanks to the tools of being a student of personal development, whether that's PSI seminars, hardcore leadership, all the things that I've learned through that and implemented has helped me navigate challenging times, which we're facing right now. Let me know, are you in challenging times too? Because grace is a practice, not a destination. Not just the grace you give to others, but also yourself, right? If you are wanting to be a person of your word, and maybe up until now, you haven't kept your word to yourself, you get to give yourself grace, okay? That's something I've learned as well. Okay, guys, let's talk about health. And so I want to be honest with you guys here. As you may have seen, hey, as far as my healing journey with the precancerous cells, guys, I am excited. I feel blessed that I am cleared. But now from a aesthetic point of view, I'm still kind of waiting for those abs to pop out, but there are some baby abs, okay, underneath the flab here. And by baby, I don't mean baby, I mean, infant abs, right? So my aunt's watching this, she heard me say baby abs. I'm like, not that kind of baby, not yet. Although hopefully by the end of this year. But guys, my abs are starting to peek through. When I touch my abdomen, I can actually feel the flab is thinner, I guess you could say. My body is changing. And here's the cool part. As I've shared, being in health and wellness now in my business and, getting into different supplementation that helps to combat inflammation, what I've noticed is a huge difference in my joints, my back. Guys, I feel incredible. I feel younger than I ever have before. In fact, my scale has told me my metabolic age is 3 or 4 years younger than my actual physical age, or my biological age. So that's huge. Supplements are a game changer. And so with all the dancing I did this past weekend at PSI seminars, I was jumping. It was like a rave for me. It wasn't a rave, but I was jumping up and down. I was having a great time. And my knees, my back, my hips feel great for the most part. My calves, though, they're killing me, right? Because it was basically a workout. So on that level, guys, progress. But the scale not only stayed stuck, guys, it actually went up last week. And that's all while sticking to my macros. Like literally, I have been dialed in within 5 grams or less over, typically, not usually under my macros. So I've been very compliant with my macros. And if you've ever been on a body transformation journey yourself, you know what that feels like when you're doing everything right. The number is moving in the wrong direction. What the heck, right? Transparently, hey, that's frustrating, right? But guys, as a woman, it was that time of the month, okay? So I get to give myself some grace. And so on top of that, my energy was in the basement. My irritability was through the roof. I was tired, hungry, I was hangry, literally thinking about food constantly. If you take a look at my social media reels, whether it's Facebook or YouTube, it's just food, right? Macro recipes, and I enjoy it because I like to look at food. I like to watch people eat. I like to look at food photos. Even my Netflix, I started looking at different food channels. And so, it is what it is. But guys, at this seminar I was talking about that I volunteered at this past weekend, you know what? The test really came on Saturday because the group wanted to get steak for dinner. They're like, hey guys, after tonight, let's go out to the steakhouse, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. May, do you want to go? And I'm like, yeah, but no. I really wanted to go, not for the steak, obviously, that would have been awesome, but really for the relationships to socialize. But I just knew that if I went there and if I was in the environment of steak, it was going to be really tough for me to be compliant, right? And so guess what? I chose me. I chose my dreams. I chose my goal. And I'm not willing to give up on myself, right? It's my last 27 days. I can get steak any other time. I can hang out with them another time. And if true friends, right, they get it, okay? Which, hey, we were in a transformation seminar. They get the importance of sticking to our goals and keeping our word to ourselves. So guys, this is what I'm calling sacrifice season. Write that one down. Sacrifice season is not going to be forever. This is not your whole life. That's what I'm telling myself. I'm not going to always have to say no to going out and getting a steak, right? But it's a specific window where the price of your goal is getting real. And you find out if you actually want what you said that you wanted, or if it was just talk, or if you're going to quit again, right? So the choice is yours. And sometimes sacrifice season looks like saying no to steak. It looks like saying no to hang out, right? So this is what I'm doing instead. My calories, they've dropped. I'm at a little bit over 1,300 calories. Again, hey, disclaimer, do not copy my macros. Please work with a professional. Do your own research, right? I'm just telling you what I have right now. My cardio is up to 45 minutes instead of 30 minutes, just 5 days a week. I've also added a fat burner supplement and a cortisol support supplement to my regimen. I just started it today because my body needs that right now. My fitness coach said, you know what, with the calorie deficit, how much I'm working out, guess what, my cortisol levels are going to be high. We want to make sure that we manage that, but also increase the fat burn. So I've been getting creative with my meals. In fact, I'm going to try out some new recipes. Found some protein donuts at the store. I'll see if I can drop a little clip. So I just went to the grocery store and I am zapped. But check out what I found. Yeah, some protein chocolate donuts. And it's taking everything in me not to eat these. We'll have to rip this open and tear this up right now, but this is going to be for tomorrow. I do not have enough macros for it today. I can't even talk. And so I've got one meal left and I'm about to go film my recap. Man, I cannot wait to try this out tomorrow. After my grocery store run today, literally took so much discipline not to rip open that package right then and there and stuff my face. But guess what? I couldn't afford my macros today because I had already planned my meals. And so this actually is the same discipline it takes to get yourself out of debt and to stick to a financial budget. So there you go, macro tracking for the win. Now the other creative recipe that I'm excited to try, guys, I was up late last night. I couldn't sleep, I was excited from the weekend. and I found a recipe that's cauliflower wings, literally looks like chicken wings, but wrapped in rice paper and then air fried. So it has that nice crisp outer exterior. I'm super excited to try that out. So super low fat is the goal right now, high volume, high protein to hit my macro targets, but I got to be a little careful with some of the vegetables that can cause that bloat and that gas, right? And so definitely want to minimize that, but hey, from time to time, you need some volume, right? Now, what are some other hacks that I've learned that I've been actually utilizing these past few weeks? So if you're in a macro or calorie deficit, this is something I would add to your tool belt, which is chicken broth. Now, not the bone broth unless you need more protein. I'm talking regular, it's just flavored water basically. And I found one here, I'm gonna put a photo right here for you guys, but I found one, Swanson's, you know, they have a regular one, and I like to jazz it up with some sriracha, some soy sauce, potentially some fish sauce, but depending on the flavors you want. But they even have a ramen version, which I'm going to try tonight. It has a little bit extra carbs than the traditional one, so that might help you. Also, tea. And so I picked up some fruity tea and some cinnamon apple tea that I've been putting some stevia in. It's helped tremendously. Also zucchini, right? There's actually a recipe where you can grate up some zucchini, drop it in your protein oats. And another one that surprised me, guys, is celery and carrots, actually. But let's talk about celery, because up until now, celery and I were not really friends. Okay, I was like, yeah, I mean, cooked it was fine, but raw, I was just like, what's the point? And that's how hungry I've been and wanting volume, that now I'm literally eating raw celery. Never did I think I'd see the day. And so I've been chopping it up, dicing it, adding it to my taco bowls, okay, and for some more volume. Now, are these things as fun as steak, guys? Of course not, but it's working, right? And so here's the thing I keep coming back to. The thing that is keeping me grounded in this final stretch is 27 days. Write this one down. The discipline tax, right? The discipline tax is what you pay before you see results. Most people quit during that tax. They do the work, they don't see the reward yet. What do? They decide it must not be working. But consistency is cumulative. The interest compounds, and if you stay in it, even when it doesn't look like it's working, guess what's going to happen? It's going to start to work because it is working. It's just underneath it all. You can't see it. So guys, less than 30 days, right? 27, that's all I've got left. And I'm not leaving anything up to chance. I'm like, guys, this is a final countdown. Okay, so my question to you, are you in sacrifice season right now? If you are, tell me in the comments. I want to know that I'm not the only one on this transformation journey. Maybe for you it's fitness, visible abs like myself, or maybe it's something different. Maybe you've got loftier goals. Maybe it's a business goal, a financial goal, a spiritual goal. I would love to know. Okay, guys, let's talk about business. Honestly, this section feels a little lighter this week, I'll be honest, because you know what? Things are moving, but I obviously had a lot going on with volunteering. But I want to talk about a big strategic shift for me, which took a lot of courage, I'm going to be honest, because I was part of a networking chapter, great group. It was a really tough call, but I decided to transfer to a new chapter, still the BNI organization, and it's different energy. This one's larger, has a stronger health and wellness community, and guys, in my business, that's just a no-brainer, right? So there was more power team potential for me, and that's just more aligned with where I'm going. And so I got to make that call, which was tough because I didn't want to let down my former chapter members as we build those relationships. But at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do, right? And so sometimes you don't need to work harder. You just need to be in front of the right people. Speaking of, guess what? I crossed 66 personal clients so far, guys. That's huge considering just in February, a few months ago, I was only at 25. And so my vision is 1,000 clients. So yes, we got a long way to go, but hey, at this rate, not as long as you might think. And so I'm also looking for some help with that, aligning with the right partners, because I don't want to do that single-handedly. Now, imagine all those lives that we're changing, that we're impacting. We get to inspire change in others, positive change. And that really means something to me as I'm also on my own journey of transformation. So speaking of transformation, are you a fan or have you ever heard of someone by the name of Myron Golden, right? Phenomenal speaker. You can find him on YouTube. I hope you do. He has challenges he does from time to time. One in particular called Make More Offers Challenge. I actually am doing that this week. And so if you don't know Myron, look him up. But, we're working on building better offers in my business. I want to create real value and thinking through what it actually means to serve people well. Okay, because we do live in a noisy world. There's so much content. A lot of the content out there these days is pretty empty, I've found. And so I purchased his book. It's on its way to my mailbox. I've already started listening to the audio. Super excited. I think the title is From Trash Man to Cash Man or something. Let me know. Have you read the book? Let me know in the comments. But what's really interesting about Myron Golden is, he doesn't just talk about business. He relates it to biblical principles. And as someone, I'm a baby in my faith still, right? But, with everything I've gone through this past 12 to 24 months, faith has been huge for me. So I've been learning that, business and the Bible and God and faith are a lot more connected than most people think. On top of that, guys, business-wise, I'm also going to be adding pop-up events in my local area and collaborating with other health and wellness business owners to my strategy. So, hey, if you're in the Phoenix or Scottsdale area, you own a health and wellness business, and you would like to talk about potential collaborations, feel free to reach out. Because right now I want to get in front of the right people in person. I want to get, building the community. And so in this business season, guys, phase 2, it's not just about doing more. In fact, it's about being more and doing less. Did you hear what I said? Being more and doing less. It's about working smarter, not harder. Okay. So guys, that's the week. The scale went the wrong way, but as tough as it was, my mindset didn't. I'm in sacrifice season. I'm paying the discipline tax, and I've got less than 30 days. Technically, right? It's 27, less than that now. It's already the end of the day, to be a woman of my word. And that's what this is about. So here's what I want to know. Progress doesn't always look like progress, right? So sometimes it's going to look like resistance, like fatigue, like saying no to a steak dinner when all your friends are going without you, but you're still moving. Taking one baby step, right, after the other, one foot in front of the other, and that means that you're in it. And being in it, guys, that is the whole game. So my intention for this next 7 days is to dial in, to continue to dial in, to stay disciplined, trust the process that I've built. 27 days left. Let's go. But before you go, I want to hear from you. What is your sacrifice season right now? What are you saying no to so you can say yes to something bigger in your life? Drop it below. I read every single one, and I want to celebrate you. Let's celebrate together our transformation journey. So thanks, guys, for being here for another transformation recap where we reflect, reset, and realign our heart, health, and hustle. And I will see you Wednesday. I've got a special video coming out this Wednesday for my wellness wisdom. And of course, I hope you tune into my daily walk in wisdoms, where transformation becomes a lifestyle.